we will discuss about liver cirrhosis. It is a condition in which liver does not function properly due to long-term damage. This damage leads to replacement of normal liver tissue by scar tissue. This can be due to long-term damage by either alcohol, typically more than 2 to 3 alcoholic drinks per day over a number of years is required for alcoholic cirrhosis to occur, and also can be due to chronic hepatitis C or hepatitis B infection and many other causes. I will discuss all the causes with mnemonic in later part of this video. Now first about pathophysiology. The liver is found by parenchymal, that is hepatocytes, and non-parenchymal cells. The walls of hepatic sinusoids are lined by non-parenchymal Kupffer cells. Activated Kupffer cells destroy hepatocytes and contribute to fibrosis. Other non-parenchymal cells are stellate cells in the perisinusoidal space. These are also called as ETO cells or vitamin A rich cells. On exposure to inflammatory cytokines such as platelet-derived growth factor (PDGF) or transforming growth factor beta (TGF-beta), stellate cells undergo transition from quiescent to activated state. Activation of stellate cells is characterized by generation of large amount of collagen and other extracellular matrix, ultimately leading to liver fibrosis. As this fibrotic tissue builds up, it starts to compress sinusoids and central vein, leading to increased intrasinusoidal pressure, or sometimes called as portal hypertension. Now the causes of hypertension can be remembered by a mnemonic ABCD PINT. Keep this picture in mind for PINT and remember as if a drunk person can't even say ABCD. A for alcohol, B for hepatitis B infection, C for hepatitis C infection, D for drugs which can be alpha-methyl dopa or methotrexate, P for primary biliary cirrhosis, I for autoimmune hepatitis, N for non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and T for type 4 glycogen storage diseases. Coming on to signs and symptoms. As we have already discussed in pathophysiology that how portal hypertension occurs in cirrhosis. Higher portal venous pressure pushes fluid in the blood vessel to tissues and across tissues to large open spaces like peritoneal cavity. That is why cirrhosis causes increased peritoneal fluid, a condition called as ascites, and can also result in congestive splenomegaly due to increased portal venous pressure. Also due to high liver pressure, blood is diverted and leads to portosystemic shunt as blood follows path of least resistance and shunts blood from portal system to systemic circulation. These changes also causes increased renal vasoconstriction, which causes decreased filtration, ultimately leading to hepatorenal failure, where kidney failure follows liver failure. Also, this portosystemic shunt can cause esophageal varices, which presents as hematemesis. Now the signs and symptoms which are due to liver cell failure. There occurs decreased detoxification by the liver, which causes accumulation of toxic metabolites like ammonia in the brain, leading to hepatic encephalopathy, and patients might develop asterixis, where they have tremoring or jerky hands when outstretched. There also occurs decreased estrogen metabolism, which causes spider angiomata, often containing a central red spot and reddish extension which radiate outwards like a spider's web. Palmar erythema and gynecomastia can also occur. As liver cells are damaged, albumin is decreased, which leads to peripheral edema and contribute to ascites as well. Decreased conjugation of bilirubin leads to yellowish discoloration of urine and sclera, that is jaundice. And clotting factors are produced less in damaged liver, causing coagulation disorders. You can remember all these manifestations in this diagram. Keep this diagram in mind and think of manifestation first due to portal hypertension and then due to liver cell failure.